Or, dear friends, at this stage, I would like to introduce my young friend, V. Ponraj. He is doing his PhD under my guidance on the topic cost-effective healthcare using ICT through space system. He has worked with me closely in the formulation of a world knowledge platform based on the few of our experience with multiple nations. I asked my friend to give you for less than 5 minutes analysis on the structure of the world knowledge platform and the immediate steps needed for coherent planning and implementation of the world space knowledgeable platform briefly. Okay. These academic institutions, one or two in each nation, would thus be sufficiently funded by world governments and industries. The representative of the government and industries being of the World Space Knowledge Platform, International Advisory Committee, and all other operational coordination mechanisms would know exactly what is happening. I trust the answers your question of what would be the source and the use of fund. In this turn, the academic institution would fund and coordinate subscale technology demonstration of the space solar power and reusable launch vehicle system on the ground, air, and space. Let me now brief on immediate steps to be taken for the coherent planning and the implementation of the International SS mission. 5 minutes, he is going to give a short presentation.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity to present. The structure of the World Space Knowledge Platform for International SSP mission, as envisioned by Dr. Kalam, is to create the World Space Knowledge Platform for the International SSP mission with the participating spacefaring nations. For example, take India and USA and other spacefaring nations joining together based on their core competencies identified, and with that vision, creating a international virtual laboratory. It is like an open virtual laboratory where the new knowledges and the systems and the knowledge can be shared, and so that it can take a birth of the new innovations, systems, and the products can take birth. So that will focus on evaluation of the integrated design, which will eventually result into the low-cost access to space, reusable launch vehicle, and the space solar power transmission from space. And in addition, there is an advisory committee which can work on evolution of the policy at the governmental level, so that which will enable them to commit the spacefaring nations to participate and to become the partners to the SFC mission. So this committee may also design or a plan to market this SSP mission to the G8 or G20 nations as envisioned by Dr. Kalam. The next slide. Here, the immediate steps forward for international collaboration structure for coherent planning and implementation of SSP mission. Because many nations are working in one way, some of the other nations are working in the other way. There are two streams of thought which is prevalent in the space solar power. So if you look at the one side is a low launch cost space missions. This is less than 400 per kg in the medium Earth orbit, and high launch cost, that is $25,000, $2,500 per kg in geosynchronous orbit missions. So if you look at that, the space systems and technologies which is needed to achieve this target, one system of thought focusing on the photovoltaic system at the space solar satellite level and convert them into a microwave transmission and then transmit to the earth. Then the other system of thought focusing on the optical system and light, a visible light wave or laser transmission. Here, these two systems of thought somehow needed to have two different type of the launch vehicle technologies. One is single stage to orbit, another one is two stage to orbit. So with the conventional SSTO adopts the architecturally new technologies with the dramatic improvements, efficiency and cost reduction. When we talk about TSTO, It is a legacy 20th century technology with incremental improvements in efficiency and cost reduction. So if you follow these two streams of thought, the mission management will be for SSTO, it is open and collaborative structure and style because it has more industry participation. If you look at the TSTO, it is closed and hierarchical structure and style because it is more driven by the government participation. And which is finally funding is government, the SSTO by government and industry, and for TSTO it is government funding for international R&D. So these two streams of thought have to be driven simultaneously to achieve. That is why you need an international virtual laboratory where open access is available, where number of institutions can participate, and two streams of thought can be pursued together so that this can be achieved. The next slide, this slide, yeah. So the kind of the working groups formulation, which will help the World Space Knowledge Platform for Space Solar Power Mission. No, sir. Back. Yeah. So this is, one is technology working groups, and another one is a public policy working group. The third one is the budget and program management working group. If you have three different type of working group to work on this virtual laboratory mission, which can help on the technology working group is one is on the space solar power systems, another one is on the orbital height of the space solar power plant and market locations on the earth. Then third one is the space transportation system, and finally the interests of the spacefaring nations. So these four areas will have different working plan for the mission group A and the mission working group B. So the first mission working group will work on the space mirrors and visible light transmission. The similar way the solar photovoltaic arrays, which can be positioned in the geosynchronous orbit at the 36,000 kilometers altitude through the single large solar power satellites for each nation. But at the same time, SSTO, which can position the satellite at 1,000 to 4,000 kilometer altitude, which can formulate a constellation of solar power satellites, multiple receiving stations in different countries. At the same time, the single SSTO as well as the TSTO, so which can carry the large payloads up to 30 tons, and rocket propulsion technologies. And if you look at the other side, small payloads less than 15 tons. So if you look at the interest of each nation, India is interested to work on both the technology, TSTO as well as SSTO. And also USA, India, Japan, UK, they are all interested in SSTO technologies. So if you look at the other area where India, Russia, China and EU interest on TSTO, and USA, Japan, India and Russia, China, they are interested on SSP, solar photovoltaic array in space for large centralized power station. So these two stream of thoughts, so it is the question, does the succeed? That is the main idea, is to formulate the world space knowledge platform and create the virtual laboratory so that the virtual laboratory will enable the institutions and the industry to participate based on their core competencies in this mission and try to push and create the feasibility study so that this can be taken up by the interesting spacefaring nations to finally achieve the mission of livable planet Earth. That is what the structure of the space solar power. Thank you.
Friends, in conclusion, I once again thank the NSS team for honoring me with the Von Braun Award. This occasion has brought us together to rededicate to all humanity our work done so far to the memory of Von Braun and other great space visionaries. We shall embark on path-breaking international mission for space solar power within the ambit of global vision for space industrialization, leading on to a new era of peace, prosperity, and abundance for all mankind. We shall build upon the trusting the relationship we have established and consolidated these last 4 years between NSS in India. We shall now strive to expand this relationship in an organized and well-structured manner, creating a world space knowledge platform with a virtual laboratory of 25 specialists and generalists drawn from government, industry, US, India, along with the other spacefaring nation. Finally, friends, I would like to suggest the following points of action plan needed for realizing the great mission space solar power due to livable planet Earth. 1. creation of the World Space Knowledge Platform with a virtual laboratory for space industrialization by USA and India and other spacefaring nations. Second, identify the space virtual laboratory partners, minimum 10 nations, with a clearly defined mission to draw up a detailed feasibility study report on the International Space Solar Power Mission, supported by definitive subscale technology demonstration of critical SSP and RLV technologies on ground, air, and space, and fully validate the critical concept of the reusability of space transportation system on which the whole mission concept rests, along with the defined period of study with the necessary institutional and financial support. There are choices for space solar power, wireless transmission, including microwave, millimetric wave, there is a W-band, laser wave, or nano energy packs, and visible sunlight deflection through a space mirror approach. In 3 years' time, virtual laboratory for space solar power can bring an optimum, workable, and possible solution, particularly for transportation of space solar power to its terrestrial stations. Within the next 6 months' time, we need to bring out a workable 20-page research document for marketing SSP to spacefaring nation and political level. The challenge in marketing the space solar power to the nation of importance for taking up the mission by joining this World Space Knowledge Platform as a partner. That means space solar power proposal has been marketed to G8 and G20 nations. From Indian side, I can assure you that I can initiate necessary action in consultation with my government. Similarly, NSS can simultaneously work on it and initiate necessary action with the US government so that the International Space Solar Power Mission can be realized through World Space Knowledge Platform. With these words, thank you once again for honoring me with the Von Braun Award, and the peoples of the world enabled to give us this one collaboration. May I wish you all the best. God bless you. Now, friends, 1 minute, I have to go. I would like to take few questions or any suggestion, quick question suggestion from audience.
The services of International Visa Foundation to sponsor your open virtual laboratory for World Space Knowledge Platform on space solar power mission. We will provide a dedicated server, we'll provide the maintenance and upkeep of it for your virtual knowledge platform. This is by the International Visa Foundation as our contribution to your vision and for the entire
Our
humanity.
vision. It's our vision, yes.
Dr. Kalam, I heard that your associate had something to do with healthcare or medical developments.
Healthcare.
Healthcare. Well,
the guy is working desk healthcare.
All right.
I am associated with harvesting solar power, space solar power.
I understand, but we've formed a committee now. It's authorized by the executive committee to form a health committee. And the platform sounds broad enough that we might also use it for other development of resources necessary for space, like overcoming the health difficulties of living in space. Would you be willing to open up this platform to other channels of knowledge?
Yeah. Actually, we have used for many areas. This World Knowledge Platform has been used the defense area and health area. The Pan-African e-network we have used. So multiple, in my paper it is there.
Okay, very good, because we need to cooperate and communicate about those topics as well.
Yes, I noted, yes.
Thank you, Bill. I think we have time for one more question. Excuse me.
I had a question that space has always been related to competition and always been related to egos, that we are the first, we did this first. So what do you think, how hard it is to overcome the ego of the humans that almost everyone possesses, and how difficult would it be in accomplishing this vision?
That's why in the beginning itself I said we are embarking on a vision, not a national vision, on the global vision, okay? It's a vision for the earth. So that means our ego, our pride, all should be subjected to lower decibels, and we should work hard to how to bring the core competence of multiple nations. Every nation has got a core competence. Imagine India participating in USA. It's a technology, course technology, some of them will be there. But the production and also certain technology development, cost effective, we can do the other countries also. So when they join together, $25,000 per kg, we can be bring down to $2,500 by collaboration. If we understand that, then our ego will evaporate. Okay, sir? Thank you.
Dr. Kalam, could we have one more question? I know you're pressed for time, but this gentleman is insisting that he ask his question.
Politely insisting. Thank you, Dr. Kalam, I'm an adjunct professor at Ohio University. I'm also a video game developer. I'm not a space scientist, but it's been a passion of mine for a very long time. For the past 4 years, I've seen teams of students from Ohio University, 18 to 21-year-old media students, not scientists, but people with a passion for the exact kind of vision you just described to us so eloquently tonight, move from having never heard of space solar power to being able to competently describe it in a very intimidating setting, I might add. It's been an incredible journey for me, and this virtual laboratory that you've just described is something that is extremely, for a video game developer, for someone who has been passionate about both virtual worlds and the world we live in here, it's a beautiful concept, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Actually, I want to tell you, my dear friend, the youth power, particularly the ignited mind of the youth, is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth, and under the earth. So
thank you.
I believe the youth power and the virtual laboratory needs a lot of youth mind, young mind, knowledgeable mind. Definitely we can accelerate the program, okay?
Thank you very much. It was inspiring to hear you speak.
Dr. Kalam, thank you very much for honoring us. Thank you for acknowledging global collaboration in space. Namaste. Thank you so much. Yes, you can. I know you have some place to be. Oh, what an honor. What a true honor. Thank you, Dr. Kalam. When Dr. Kalam acknowledged global collaboration for space, you touched my heart. Thank you, thank you. That's truly what it takes to become a spacefaring species, is the fact that we really need to collaborate on a global scale and become something other than what we have been in the past, turn a new page for humanity. And on that note, I want to bring somebody very special to the stage, somebody I think that provides leadership for the whole human race. And Mr. Rick Tomlinson, I have something to honor you with. You didn't expect this, did you? Get on up here. Come on. All right. Dr. Rick insisted on being honored in this regard, and I'm so glad to do so. Rick, would you care to say a few words for the audience?
Yeah. Take that, Howard. No, sorry, kidding. I understand. No, I enjoyed the speech, sir. It was amazing. And, you know, we're always going to have egos. We're always going to have passions. We're always going to have people who think they have the right solution. But if you can harness them towards a central goal, as you're speaking, I think we have a great deal of hope for the planet and the species. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you very much. We have a very special guest this evening, somebody that has sponsored our event. Sandra, would you care to come up? From Space Canada, let me welcome you, Sandra Papatillo. Well, that's how we say it in San Diego, but Sandra Papatillo.
That's so bad, you have no idea.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra Pupatello, and I come from Canada. And I'm here representing Space Canada with the founder, George Dietrich, who is sitting here at our table with Dr. Kalam. We're delighted to be sponsors of this evening's gala. Let me just say that in Canada, Aboriginal Canadians have long said that we borrow the earth from our grandchildren. So if that's true, then the notion of what Dr. Kalam brings us tonight is something that we have to embrace. I have a feeling that he may be speaking to the converted tonight because everyone believes in your message this evening. We're just delighted, too, to get a little bit more invigorated after this evening's speech, to go back to the places we come from and start talking to the people who can make decisions, who will make a framework like this come alive. So we were delighted to see this afternoon the young Indian students who were here following Dr. Kalam, eyes wide open, probably dreaming. And I know they're here in the audience this evening. And I think they're going to say to us when they reach adulthood, you mean you had the technology and you could have done this livable planet? I think we know it's a responsibility for us to bring it forward, and it's a matter of finding the way to do so. So Dr. Kalam brings us that kind of vigor and passion, and we're delighted. So on that regard, and just before we lift off for takeoff into space, let me just say, on behalf of Space Canada, we're delighted to be sponsoring this evening, but also wanting to partner, bring the Canadians along with you. Canadians like Canadarm, Dexter, things that you might recognize, and maybe more recently, Commander Hatfield, who brought space to the, Dr. Jameson here, an astronaut in our midst, I must say. Our young women, I think, are going to love to see this astronaut here in our midst this evening, too. You better stand up and take a bow so they can find you now. There she is. There are actually not a lot of people on the planet who had the experience that you've had in space, you and Commander Hatfield, who brought Twitter to space, let me just say that. So as one of his followers, then I hope you might join at Commander Hatfield to see those photos of space. If you haven't seen them, they're marvelous. Dr. Kalam, thank you for what you've brought to invigorate this audience this evening. Thank you.